What's going on, CJ? Welcome to For the Fans. I'm Kevin, and I'm here once again with CJ. The 5 p.m.ers are here to talk about Big Brother 26 and basically the final four HOH recap and what's happening this week. What happened last week, CJ? It's good to see you, my guy.
What's up?
What is up, indeed? If you're here watching us live, join us in the chat. Comment. We'll love to interact with you. You know how it gets over here. This is going to be a lot of fun. We'll be getting to what's going on this week, and we'll be ending with the spoilers and our rankings. CJ, this week has been boring, but that's what happens in the end game. But it's really shaping out as expected for a Chelsea win, which is what I was looking for from day one. You were there day one. From day one, I've been looking for a Chelsea win.
Yeah, it's funny because like I said, what was it last week before? I was rooting for Angela just for chaos purposes. It's nothing against Chelsea. It's just I love Big Brother, but once we hit, I don't know, 6, if somebody played the game right, it gets very boring because they just got to send people home. And those last, 6, 7 people, they need to be doing 2 eliminations a week. Just knock them out.
Bang, 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 bang. Just get them out of here.
Because especially with the fact that you have to do nominees and only 2 people can even possibly go home. It's not like Survivor where a blindside can happen. And Survivor, especially in the modern era, every other day someone's going home. And then once you get to the final 5, somebody's going home every day. Versus we had 5 for a week, and then we have 4 for a week, and then we're gonna have 3 for 3 days. We could have got this done in a week.
Well,
5, 4, 3, be done.
It's because you've known me for 18 years or so now.
Yeah.
You've known for the longest that Big Brother is probably my favorite show.
Yeah.
And the thing about Big Brother, and this is the thing that's always made me laugh, is that CBS knows what they have on their hand in terms of Big Brother, as the fact that when we put it on, people will watch it. So we could do it at 9 o'clock. We can do it at 8 o'clock. We can do it in the summer. We can do it in the fall. We can put it on in the winter. We can put it on at 2 in the morning. Whenever we need to feel it, we can put it on. And then also, CJ, even funnier, as we've seen very recently, we have an hour block to fill. So Big Brother's on for an hour. We have a 2-hour block to fill. We could put it on for 2 hours. And we have a 7-hour block. Put it on for 7 hours.
And it kind of just goes with the state of TV in the last few years changing, especially with the writer's strike, where you see weekly episodic television going from seasons of 22 episodes to now seasons of 13, 16. I remember Premiere Week used to be Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
Premiere Week is middle of October now.
Well, not now, this year, because of the strike. Next year it'll be back to September, but it may not be like you said Labor Day. It may be mid to late September.
Yeah. But Survivor, they have those, they record those in May and June. And then they're like, all right, we're done. We can put these on whenever we want.
Correct. And we're going to try to line up with the seasons that they fit. But Big Brother, they're like, this stuff's running a little long. We'll start Big Brother in July. I don't know. It's running super long. We'll start in the middle of August, like last year.
Yeah. Last year's Big Brother, and again, writer's strike makes sense. They went 100 days. That was ridiculous.
That's the worst part. They're like, okay, how can we get more time out of this? Just put them in the house for longer.
Yeah. Not add more people, not have them do more stuff. Just we're gonna do a non-elimination week.
Yeah, that was Zombie Week. Zombie Week last year.
Yeah. And then this year, we're only gonna do one double.
We'll bring 2 people back. Whatever. Yeah. We'll bring whatever. We'll figure it out. We'll just extend it. And
I think the expect the unexpected saying came from the fact that CBS doesn't know what they're doing with their television schedule, so Big Brother adjusts on the fly.
Yes, yes, yes. And editors edit a little bit more, edit a little bit less, add these extra scenes. Just always be ready. Always be ready to do what we need to do. And so it's funny because they used to shorten it up, and it was shortened because they're like, okay, we have to get to the fall TV season. So
Yes.
we need Big Brother to be off the air. Cool. This season, because of the writer's strike, we're going to start a little bit later. And let's go ahead and just extend it out. Let's extend it out. Let's just do that. Because we have time to fill. Do you know what time Big Brother came on last night? For people need to. No.
7:00 p.m.
No,
Eastern.
no. East Coast. No, it was like 11.
10.
Because they had the AMAs yesterday. The American Music Awards aired yesterday after football.
So it's funny because the football game started so late last night, I wasn't going to watch that game anyway. Cowboys Steelers, I didn't have any interest in watching it. I'm a huge football fan, but just like two fan bases I don't nearly care about, two teams like I don't really care about how they play offense. It was going to be a defensive slugfest, and I was not here for it, fantasy purposes or otherwise. So we were watching whatever, I don't know. And then I pull up the DVR to be like, all right, let's watch SNL because we didn't watch it on Saturday. I was like, oh, there's an episode of Big Brother here and it's like 7:58 p.m. I was like, well, this is great because I thought I was staying up till 10 p.m. just to watch Big Brother. And now we're going to knock this out right now.
It's just funny because it's like, we need a time slot to fill. I think we have an hour of this show somewhere.
Yeah. And it's funny because they don't even do the American Idol thing where American Idol is like, we're just going to show it live on the West Coast. It's going to come on at 5 on Sunday night, and then we're going to show it again at 8. Nope. You can watch it, or you can go to Paramount Plus if you missed
it. Correct. I love it, and I love the flexibility because everyone's still going to watch.
And the funniest thing is like you're talking about how flexible they are and they can just edit in whatever. We don't know how many episodes we're going to get between, like if we're going to get the recap episode between Thursday and Sunday. I assume we are.
Oh, I totally forgot about that part. It's like, you know what? We need an extra. Hey guys, we need an extra week of Big Brother. Not an extra week, just an extra 2 episodes. Can we just put in 2 recap episodes? Sure. So then you get the recap, and then you'll get like a recap of the recap. Like that is
yeah, because like we're gonna have, so we left on a cliffhanger last night, and then we're gonna get the end of the veto. We're going to get the votes. We're going to go down to final 3, and then I'm guessing Friday we're gonna get the customary final 3 dinner where they're getting steaks and whatever, and they're doing the recaps. So we get our montage of people crying in the diary room. We get our montage probably of Angela meltdowns. We'll get a whole bunch of different stuff. And then we'll probably get the beginning of the 3-part HOH. And then on the 2-hour episode on Sunday, which I'm assuming it's 2 hours. They haven't said if it is or it isn't.
Maybe an hour. Maybe 3 hours. Who knows?
We'll get that. But I'm assuming we're going to have 3 episodes this week. Thursday, Friday, Sunday.
But CJ, didn't Big Brother used to come on Wednesday and Thursday?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but then Survivor got 90 minutes, and then CBS decided they really...
We started the summit.
Side note, I think it's really funny that CBS has been trying to get rid of The Amazing Race for years. Like, because they got what? They have Tough as Nails.
Yeah,
they have the Summit.
Listen, we're tired of this show.
They tried Challenge USA. Like, they're trying all these different shows, but people just keep coming back and watching Amazing Race. I love Amazing Race. I think it's one of the best shows on television.
I wish an executive would pull you to the side and be like, so CJ, listen, The Amazing Race just costs too much. That's why we don't like to do it, because we got to like put them in these hotels all around the world. And there's just too much going on.
Do you think that it was more expensive with COVID since they had to charter planes?
Yes. Definitely was.
Yeah, because like they were just flying them coach, and it was just 4 flight. Like you had to buy 4 tickets per team per leg.
Hmm. Hmm.
4 ticket for those who don't know. The reason it's 4 tickets is because their camera guy and their sound person also needed a
To
ticket.
travel with them. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you're spending a bunch on airfare, but like I don't think they're paying that much on hotels because realistically, these cities are paying them to come there.
Yep.
So like I'm sure they're using tourism advertising money for them to go do the stuff that they're doing. It probably isn't that expensive. And like Amazing Race holds consistent ratings, similar to Big Brother. Doesn't matter when you put it on, people watch it. And then it's one of the few reality shows always nominated for Emmys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's been others that have used, like American Idol used to always be nominated for Emmys.
Yeah.
RuPaul's Drag Race always nominated for Emmys, but they're definitely one of them that's constantly up there because it makes it's feel good TV. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's feel good TV. So it's just funny with these, like, especially the Amazing Race and Big Brother. It's like a play as needed, and they put it on as they need to fill in any gaps and any holes in their schedule. And I just love it. And so this week we're going to be getting a elongated Final Four because that's what the schedule holds. There's no reason to shorten it up for scheduling wise.
It's
But we will.
it's funny because last night's episode was an hour. They could have made it 2 hours. It would have been pointless. But if they wanted to, they could have.
Yeah. And that's the funniest part is because, like, there's just more because there's so much footage. We can always add more scenes. We can always take away scenes. Will it change context? Partially. Unless we just like smash cut a couple important scenes together, then we got all the scenes we need.
And they could also do montages of like if you edit it correctly and just don't show people that have already been eliminated, they can show us a conversation from week 6 that's still relevant today.
Correct.
And be like,
Correct.
this is what they were talking about this week.
And if I can't edit out that person, I just put a little thing that goes over that says day 37. And then we still show the same conversation.
Yep.
And then in the diary room, hey, yo, Rabina, remember when you had that conversation with Tucker early in the season? Yeah. I need you to talk about that, but like in the past tense. Go. And then just like, well, when Tucker was still here, me and Tucker talked about how the best way to get to the end. Flashback says day 37. Show that scene that they wanted to show about her talking about if they wanted to get to the end. Cam would have been a good person that takes to the end or something. And then flash back to like now and then have it show and set up a conversation she's about to have with Cam. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you're right. If I can't edit it out, we just add a little thing on the bottom to tell you when it was.
Problem solved.
Yep. First off, what's up, Big Sissy Banana BSB? Good to see you. Howdy. Good to see you here in the chat. So I love Big Brother for that. I love the fact that they can do that. They can put the schedule in wherever. So this is why we're going to get a little bit of an elongated week. But CJ, before we talk about this week, we have to talk about last week. And last week, Chemo was evicted. Chemo and Rubino on the block, as we told you when we last saw you. The veto competition, as we said in the spoilers, was won once again by Big Mackenzie MJ.
McKenzie.
And I'm glad you mentioned McKenzie because, CJ, it is time for us to talk about the BB Comics. It's one of our favorite parts of the season is BB Comics. And we have all the comics here for you.
You know how we were just talking about how like Big Brother, you can elongate it. You can go as long as you want. You can go as short as you want. That's what we're about to do on these BB Comics. Same thing. Some of them we're going to talk about for much longer than others.
Extensively. Some of them we're going to be real quick.
Yep.
I'm going to let you know now, spoiler alert, we're going to be real quick on Kenny's.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't really like any of these comics this year. I think that they've done better, like making fun of the house guest or finding comics that fit them. I think that there were a lot of just like blah characters in the house, but I think it's because we had a lot of people who weren't really playing the game. They were just there for vibes.
Yeah, it was a real vibey season, but also they were playing the game in like just a different way, right? There was
Yes.
nothing. There was nothing. Because like you said, there was no one that was problematic. So there was nothing like really to roast nobody on. Everybody was like
Yeah.
doing the thing they're supposed to do. So we're gonna drop them up. They're gonna be overlays over our faces, and then we're going to get into them and talk about them when I pull them down. I just never figured out how to put them like next to us. I think I had an idea, but I just never got around to it.
That's a
So
fail.
I mean, hey, listen, this is a low budget podcast here. They pay us $0, so we're just here for the fun. So we're gonna
Just
start
here for the
off
vibes, just like the
here
people.
for vibes, just like the people this season. So we're gonna start off with Angela, the atomic mom. She's ready to go nuclear.
So I think this one was great. I think that Angela, always in a meltdown. I think they should have made some kind of meltdown reference with her being the atomic mom. And I also love that she's clutching Matt.
Yes, yes. That is the funniest part about this thing to me, is because with this atomic mom right here, we know she's radioactive. We know that she blows up on people.
Yep.
It makes sure that it gives, to me, it's a little shot at Brooklyn, because this is the mom of the season. Not Brooklyn, who was trying to be the first married mother to win the game.
So ridiculous.
But having Matt in her clutches is just hilarious.
The fact that she, like, that was the first week of the season, and we're still calling back to that beef, shows how few memorable beefs we've had this season.
And all of them included Angela.
Yeah. She was just in there beefing with people. Everyone else was on vacation.
Everyone else was playing a different game. And the game they were playing was Big Brother, just not the game Angela was trying to play. The version of Angela was trying to play. I mean,
do you think Angela's game would look any different if she was in, like, I don't know, last season or 2-3 seasons ago? Or do you think she still would have played the same game?
Okay, so she's in last season. Does she replace Felicia?
Probably.
Okay, so she replaces Felicia. She's in there with Sari. Sari would have just been like, we're not having this. Corey would have been trying to get her out. Izzy would have been trying to get her out because that's what Sari would have wanted, because she would have just been like, Angela's too much.
Not only is she too much, but she blows up everyone's game, and that was Izzy's job.
In a different manner.
Yeah.
So I think Angela tries to be the same, but I think she ends up going home even sooner, because Sari would have been like, I can't take this, and they would have been like, got you. Let's get her up out of here.
I just don't understand how she caused so much drama all season long, and people were just like, well, there's a bigger target, so we can just take care of her next week. And I'm like, she's going to end up skating to the end. And I'm glad that Chelsea finally put her foot down and was like, Angela goes.
Yep. Time to put a stop to this.
Yeah. But like, someone could have carried Angela to $100 or $75,000.
I was afraid it was going to happen that way.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Sweet Kenny K. They made him a sausage.
He's a real wiener.
Yeah, because I like how they took the joke about him having those Kenny K sausages. Wasn't he like a sausage vendor or something? That's what he said.
He said he had a food truck, but he didn't do the cooking because he was bad chef.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know how this is a superpower.
it's like
is he like a villain?
It's like the movie Sausage Party, I guess. I don't know. It's funny because with these comics, usually they split the cast in half heroes, half villains. So like if you go back to Atomic Mom, I think she's supposed to be a villain.
Okay, yeah, I think she's a villain. She's probably a villain.
So is Kenny a
gotta be a villain?
Hero?
Gotta be a villain.
You think he's a villain?
Gotta be a villain. Because the next one right here is a hero. We got young Cedric.
Barely legal.
We got Lord of the Latrine down here. We got Cockadoodle Zoom over there.
Yep.
We got, I forgot what Taylor was for her season. We got Nicole over there. You see that? You see Frankie? He just graduated Superhero Academy. Young Cedric is a hero.
I mean, it says Superhero Training Academy behind him, so I think it's very easy to say he's a hero. I also find it very funny that the comics are all $2.99. So apparently inflation has not impacted the comics for BB Comics.
Let me see if I can find what Frankie was. And Frankie, he was the Flamingo. So that's the Flamingo down there.
Yep.
For Taylor, her season, Taylor was. They have online here like all the comics. You know how they be doing. Like the internet's real good at
they
keeping
keep
all
track of
stuff.
everything. Because I don't keep track of everything.
Taylor was the Taylor chip. We have the Taylor chip right there. Got Cockadoodle Zoom. I remember that.
With the Lays.
With the Lays, yep. We had Lord of the Latrine. And then the season that Nicole came back for was BB 18, I believe. Yeah.
That sounds right. That's the one she won.
Oh, they don't have her on here. Maybe that was her BB 16 one. But her BB 16, she was October 5th. Yeah. So this shit is October 5th. Lord of the Latrine, the Flamingo, Cockadoodle Zoom, and then Young Cedric.
Young Cedric actually sounds like a superhero.
Yes, it does. I don't know what his powers are. What do you think his powers are?
Well, apparently it's flight because he seems to be taking off. Unless he's giant, like Atomic Mom. Like he might just be really large compared to everyone.
His face is really large.
Yes.
Like a huge face.
I would assume he has, basic Superman powers. Flight, super strength, super hearing, laser eyes. I don't know.
I'm surprised that I was able to pull Lord of the Latrine just like right off the top of the brain.
Well, he's holding a plunger.
Did you remember his name was Lord of the Latrine?
Yeah, because he had to say every time someone went to the bathroom, the Lord of the Latrine is taking so and so to the bathroom.
This is true. He did have to do that. Can you name one other comic person from that season?
Absolutely not.
No. Can you guess? Give me. I happen to have it pulled up. Give me one of the people. I'll tell you what their name was.
Tiffany.
She was Tiffy Toes.
That's weird.
Yeah. Give me one more from that season.
What about Big D?
He was Big Z because the boy be sleeping. You know what it is? He be sleeping and snoring and the sleep.
Was it
Big Z?
Wasn't Ozza something about having a crush on X?
No, I think that was her Zing. She was the Wizard of Ozza. She was the Wizard of Ozza. Claire was Claire Bear. Easy, boring.
Yeah.
And Brent Champagne, another fun one. Brent Champagne was the flight attendant because maybe he was a male flight attendant. And Kyland was the Kylander, which is actually pretty funny. Anyway, back to this season. We have Young Cedric. I want like a ranking. So the ones we've seen so far, 3, 2, 1. Which one?
Well, this one would be number 1, and Atomic Mom would be number 2.
Same. Kenny's 3 so far.
Kenny's 16.
He's probably gonna be 16. We're gonna keep going. No, maybe he's not 16. We got the glitter critter right here.
I think this one's funny.
I think it's funny that the only quality about Lisa is the fact that she was the glitter, had the edible glitter.
Well, I mean, she wasn't around the house very long to make a lasting impact, and everyone hated her. and they hated her partially because of the glitter.
She's the glitter critter. The glitter critter is it's lame. I like that they have the little creatures right there. They're like, we can have it. Obviously a villain.
Oh yeah. Well, I
Obviously
mean,
a
even the
villain.
tagline is "Don't feed her edible glitter after midnight."
So she's like a gremlin.
Yes.
Her face is huge. Like all their faces are really big.
Well, so you can see who they are.
I know. Do you think she like they're obviously causing mischief? Do you think she's like the leader of this group of critters?
Probably. But I mean, all that means is she's feeding them.
Right, making sure they all eat.
Or is it like a Gizmo situation where Gizmo was the one good gremlin and all the rest were bad?
I mean, well, they're all she has a jar open too, so I'm assuming she's also bad.
But she's not eating.
Well, she's looking at us and smiling. But she has the jar and it's in her hand and it's open. So I think that gives the impression that she was eating.
Nah, because glitter gets everywhere and she doesn't have any on her.
I hate glitter so much.
Yeah, the nieces were playing with glitter yesterday. I came home covered in glitter and I didn't even touch the glitter. I don't know how
Man, it really gives off strip club vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Want to see another boring one? Another boring comic?
I'm ready.
The Rewind, Joseph. Pausing crime throughout time.
I'm not going to lie. When I saw this one, I didn't even know who it was.
I like the concept.
I do. I also like the concept, especially with the VHS tape and the VCR and everything.
Definitely a hero because he says pausing crime throughout time. So definitely on the hero side. Kind of boring.
Well, it's just like we all know he works in a porn shop, so I don't know why we're doing VHS.
I mean, well, he sells VHS tapes.
I have a lot of questions about a porn shop that's selling VHS tapes.
Like in today's day and age?
Yeah, like how does that work?
So it's just like classic. So like if someone was like to watch like vintage porn.
Yeah, they just go online.
That's not real vintage. You see what I'm saying? You need to be able to pop in that tape in the VHS, rewind a little bit, the VC, rewind a little bit, get the scene in there, rewind a little bit more if you want to see the scene some more, fast forward. Yeah, they could do it like digital now, but analog, CJ. That's the way that people want
it. Yeah, but I'm sure you can just go to like Porn Plus or whatever. Like, it's like I don't think this worked. Like I don't think this is like Pornhub, which is basically like the Hulu of porn, where you just get a little bit of everything from the different companies. I think you have to go to like whatever company's plus service there is, and like I can't. Vintage. Yeah, and I can't tell you like who makes videos. What company
it is. Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, like I don't know. Vivid is Vivid one. I don't know.
Vivid is definitely I think they're definitely a company.
So you go to like
adult films.
So do you go to like Vivid Plus when you want to see vintage porn?
Or like Hustler, I guess.
Playboy?
Playboy didn't do like really like softcore.
But if you go to Playboy Plus, you can still get your stuff. I don't know. They have the Playboy channel still, which I think is really funny because I don't know anyone that watches it.
We had it at our apartment years and years ago.
Yeah, because we had a roommate that liked to watch it.
And we were like, we're adults. We can do what we want. That's really what it was. It was the fact that we were adult men at the age of like 18 and 20. You're 20 or 19 and 20. Yeah. And it was like, we're men. We're adults. We can do what we want. Yeah. And then we watched it sparingly.
Like, you know what my favorite thing is I came home from work once and our roommate is sitting there on the couch watching it. And there's a whole bunch of kids staring in the window.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, man. So like roommates watching it just in the middle of the day, not doing nothing crazy, doesn't have his like meat out or nothing. He's not doing nothing like that. But
yeah, it's just on. He's just watching, enjoying himself.
And our door, it was hot. It was super hot in the summer. So the front door was open. And so the front door was just open, and then kids were just standing in, not like in the doorway and watching the TV, neighborhood kids. And we did not realize it until
I
a
want
while
someone to
until
get
you
out of
came
here,
home.
kids. What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna go tell your parents that we were letting you watch porn? Nah.
Jackie in the chat says Brazzers. So maybe
So Brazzers
Brazzers
Plus.
Plus. Yeah, Brazzers Plus. All those different companies have a plus site. Like they're all called Plus. Paramount Plus, Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Brazzers Plus.
it's now HBO Max, but everyone else Plus.
Yeah. Well, that's what Joseph's doing. Hero. Obviously, Hero. Next up, we have Rabina as the Roller Rebel. Obviously, Hero won't let crime skate by. Have they talked about her being a roller girl?
I think she has, like, it's come up on the feeds, but they haven't really talked about it on TV. And I think that's my problem with a lot of these, um, a lot of the comics in general, is they don't really talk about it.
They're
It
not
just,
enough to like give you the reference of what's happened in the season or like
yeah.
what people have talked about to make the reference make sense.
With that said, this Rubina one I think is real cool. Like if I was
Yeah.
Rubina, I would want to keep it so that I could hang it up in my house.
Yeah. I would want a large one so that way I can hang it up. Because this one is she looks cool in this one. She's fighting crime, kicking ass. You're right. It's like a really cool one.
Yeah. I have nothing mean to say about this one.
Nope, nothing at all. Nothing much more to say about it either, but it's cool. Next up, Tucker, the instigator. He'll tuck you up. Obviously, villain.
Obviously a villain. They did a lot of work on his six pack. I think it's funny that he was the instigator because I had to think about it. I was like, why is he the instigator? Oh, that's right, because he was the AI instigator, which means you didn't come up with anything better while he was just acting a fool in the house. Like you could have made him the disruptor, I guess, because he was just fucking shit up.
I don't think that they couldn't come up with anything better. I think that they wanted to make sure you remembered that he was a part of that twist.
I guess.
Because that was like an R thing. Like we did that.
That twist sucked.
It did.
And I part of the reason it sucked is because he used it very poorly.
I
Part
thought
of
he
the
was gonna
reason,
use it fun. I thought it was gonna be great. And
yeah,
then he made Rabina cry, and then he was like, "Oh, I have with great power comes great responsibility." And
it's funny because you see, like, look at the big twist from the season. So, like, you had the AI instigator, you had the two secret powers that everyone knew, so they weren't secrets. Like, none of them really worked. With Mackenzie's veto, because everyone knew she had America's veto, they were like, well, we're going to make her burn it. So she couldn't really use it, which that's on her for telling someone. Quinn, with the deep fake HOH, shouldn't have told anyone. He could have just had it and done it. And then the instigator, although nobody figured out that it was Tucker, he didn't really use it for anything.
Well, they didn't have time to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because when he did it, it was the same week he went home.
Yes.
So I wonder if he would have talked about it in the house, but like it would have been Tucker, so he would have been fine with it. It's I'm glad he went home basically with the power. We gave him all the money. But that's why he gets this comic.
Did not like Tucker. He was a very chaotic player. He did make for an entertaining gameplay, but I don't think he was necessarily entertaining television.
A lot of people like Tucker, fan favorite. Do you think he's going to win AFP?
Maybe, but I think he's been gone too long.
I was thinking the same thing. He was definitely the odds-on favorite early.
Yeah,
but
I think he's been because he's not even in the jury house. I think people have just kind of forgot about him. But I don't. It's funny because I feel like a lot of casuals don't like Chelsea. I feel like a lot of casuals like Angela, so it might be her, but she's a very polarizing person. I don't know if she's going to get enough votes.
I think Angela has probably the best chance at it. Based on the people who are left specifically.
Yes.
Um, I think Tucker was a favorite for it, but it just, like you said, took too long.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Angela or maybe Mackenzie, but I don't know.
Ooh, Mackenzie. I think Leah also has a chance.
I think Leah has a chance too. I think Mackenzie, because she's been there so long.
And she's won all those comps.
Yeah, I think that she'll do it. This cast hasn't been, and I don't mean that I dislike them, but this cast hasn't been extremely likable. I don't dislike anyone. I'm just not like a super fan of anyone. Like you're a super fan for Chelsea. I'm just like, she's there.
That's the thing. She's not just there. That's why I'm a super fan for her.
But like when I talk about
She's
actively
playing.
disliking people, I actively
Yeah.
disliked Jag and Bowie.
Correct.
I don't actively dislike any of this cast.
There's
Other
a
than
plus.
Angela.
That's a plus.
I just didn't necessarily care for them.
Mm-hmm. Old Tuck. Villain. Definitely a villain here.
Definitely villain.
You can tell by the gloves also. The gloves make him look like a bad guy. Next up, we have Crow Slay. Now, this one, she's a crochet, deep knit. She looks like a badass in this one. I think this is probably one of the better comics.
This is another one that if I'm her, I'm trying to get a copy of this to put up in my house.
Definitely a villain.
Got the definitely a villain, but it has like the Elektra vibes.
No. I'm not villain. I think she's a hero because it says cross her and you're in deep knit, which is like deep shit.
I was thinking maybe villain, but then I look at the people behind and they look like henchmen, so I don't know.
They look like henchmen that she has caught up in the crow slay crocheted baskets. One of them's in a mint, which is fantastic.
Scarf.
That's a scarf. And like you said, they're henchmen. I thought that they would be some of her fellow house guests, but no. By doing the henchmen, yeah, I think that she is definitely a hero in this one.
Probably.
T-Core, man. T-Core had a real chance to win the game. You know what's funny? I've just turned this into we're gonna just use this. We had this to talk about the season. We're gonna talk about the season like the gameplay, but we're gonna use this to continue to talk about these players because T-Core, I think, had a real good shot of like winning this game, but she never realized it.
The fact that they were crying tears of joy because she won HOH because she was such a good person, and the fact that no one thought that they would be nominated on her HOH, despite the fact she has to nominate 2 people, shows how tight knit she was with a lot of the cast. Where even if they didn't even if they weren't besties, everyone trusted her.
Phenomenal social player, unbeknownst to her.
Yeah.
I think she knew she had a good social game in terms of just like being good to people.
Yeah.
But she had a real strong shot of winning if she just was able to make a few better moves.
If she was able to make any moves.
No, she made some moves. I mean, they get out young Cedric.
I mean, she did, but like that was her and Chemo working together, and I feel like they were still kind of puppeteered by Tucker. I think Tucker
had nothing to do with that.
I felt like he did.
He did not.
The reason why the reason I feel like he did is because Chemo took the information to Tucker about the I forget what they called themselves, the group of 8 or the Pentagon.
Yeah, the Pentagon, and then the Pentagon was a part of the collective.
Yes. It's like, we're not in the collective. We're not in the Pentagon. Tucker's not in it. Well, let's make a move as a group.
So that's why I disagree. It's because they were in the collective. Chemo and T-Core were in the collective, and along with Joseph, but they were not in the Pentagon, which is why I said this move was outside of Tucker, because Tucker tried to just get out Quinn and his power, but they blew up the collective because Quinn had told them about the Pentagon.
And it's funny because, like, if you're a student of these games, you know how Onion alliances work.
Yes.
And the Pentagon was part of the Onion with the collective. But if Quinn is feeding you information about that, you're in a separate Onion that, like, you can use that alliance as part of your Onion alliance. Why
Right.
would you blow it up?
Correct.
And that's why I didn't necessarily like. I don't think that neither T-Cord nor Chemo played a good game. They could have been more strategic with what they did when they did it.
So I have the pushback. You don't think they played a good strategic game?
Yes.
Because socially, T-Core was exactly where she needed to be because she can't blow up the Pentagon. We really
Without
got
the
to stop saying
information.
that. We really got to stop saying it like that. She couldn't dismantle the alliance called the Pentagon without that information. It sounds just so bad.
Too soon, still?
We're gonna end up on a watch list.
I mean, it wouldn't be
But
the first time.
true. But she couldn't mess up that alliance without having that knowledge. But she also had she had the foresight that she needed to dismantle the alliance. But she took it out at that opportunity. That was a good move for them. Unfortunately, they never were able to amass power from that move.
And I think that's my biggest problem with when they decided to do it when they did, because they did it at what, 13?
Mm-hmm.
Why not do it at 10?
Right, when the numbers have dwindled a little bit more, and you can
Yeah,
better control what happens here.
because you have Tucker, who was a comp beast. You have your three with Rubina, who wasn't a solid part of their three at that time.
And you go and then you have Quinn. So like right now you have you two in the center,
Yes.
you two and Quinn, you two and Rubina. So that's 4.
Yep.
You guys then have the outsiders or whatever. You add Tucker, now it's 5. Tucker is interested in Rubina. They're a pair, you're a pair, but you have Quinn, so you're a 5. You're like you said, expanding this onion.
And Angela and Joseph would have came with you because they followed Tucker.
/ Joseph wants to work with us.
Yeah. Like, you would have been fine, but for whatever reason, like, I don't like, and I will get to Quinn when we get to his comic too, but I don't like that they took out Quinn. Like, they started dismantling Quinn's game early when Quinn was feeding them information that showed that he was planning on being loyal to them.
Right.
So even if you don't necessarily want to work with Quinn till the end, don't cut him so early while he can still feed you valuable information. And that was the problem I had with the move.
It to me, it is read as sloppy, you know?
Yes.
It is read as sloppy, and it didn't help too many things game wise.
No.
Next up we have the Chameleon. Now they did my guy Cam dirty here because because like okay, if you're watching the feeds, you know that he is playing.
It's funny because
doing stuff he is playing.
There's a couple of players every year who are actively trying to play the game. Like, you saw this with America last year. She was actively playing the game. She was trying her hardest to make moves in the house, but she never won anything. And if you can't win, ultimately you don't have a lot of power. So you're just kind of hanging on until somebody's there to get rid of you. And that's been Cam this season. He's made it to 4. We'll see if he makes it to 3. You know, winning that veto would be very big for his game.
Right. The thing is, though, Cam has been locked in with Chelsea from jump.
Yes.
Right. He was there. He was there for the formation of the Pentagon. He was there for the whatever the Man Alliance, whatever that Man Alliance that was with him, Matt, Tucker, and Chemo. He was there for the collective. He had good relationships with Leah. He had the relationships. The movements he's done movements like he was not a part of the Cedric blindside. Obviously, he was blindsided along with them, and he wasn't a part of the Tucker blindside. But all the other moves that have happened in the game, he has been privy to and a part of.
I do think it's funny that a lot of people wanted to rope him in and have him included in stuff because they've viewed him as a big physical comp threat, and he won one AI arena.
He was only in 2.
I know, but I'm saying like between vetoes and HOHs and all that, like,
no, he won the veto.
Or he won a veto. Okay, he's won one competition so far, and we're coming up on one last veto and the 3-part HOH, which means he's going to have more wins in the next 7 days than he has had all season in order to secure his safety.
Now, I had to pull his comic down because I got to say this. These comps this season are the best comps I've ever seen in my history of my 10, 15, 16 years of watching Big Brother consistently.
Part of that is because they've been so equitable.
Yeah.
But part of it is also it hadn't really registered how far skewed they had gone towards physical until last year when Jag and Matt ran the table. And then now it's very refreshing because, like we talked about earlier in the season, I think only one woman won a comp last year. Or 2 women, Bowie and
3.
One of the
Riley won the first HOH.
Yeah. Blue won a veto.
Blue won a single veto, and she didn't even win a veto. She came in
won
second.
The secondary veto. Yeah.
and then Bowie.
Yeah. So it's funny that we've had a lot more equitable comps this season. Like BB Comics, it's an endurance comp, but it's a classic comp. We're not going to complain about that. OTEV, physical, but also a mental comp. It's, and then what is the third class? Oh, the wall comp. It's an endurance comp, but it's a classic comp. We're not mad about those. But, the HOH last night, which was the word search, very equitable.
New, inventive. And bro, when they say we're going to 7, we're doing 7 rounds, and we're going to figure this out within 7 rounds. I loved it. We'll talk about the comp itself a little bit more. It was fake. It was great though. It was great. But with Cam not having like overly physical comps on a wider scale, he has not been able to just dominate like what's expected.
I don't know if he would have based off of what we've seen from him.
True.
Like, true. If we had the same comps that we had last season, I'm not saying that Tucker would still be here because other things have happened, but like it would have been a much more skewed towards him. I think Mackenzie would have done just as good as she's been doing. Maybe Cam wins a couple. Leah has proven to be pretty strong at those. Quinn would have been good at those, but like there's no way Angela wins 2 HOHs and a veto based off of the comps we had last year.
True. You don't get that.
Yeah. I love it. I hope they keep the equity in future seasons.
It made for such a better season. But Cam's doing stuff, we just don't see it. Sorry, y'all. Next, like I see it on the feeds, but we don't see it in the show. So that's why they have him like being as invisible. So it's cold-blooded. If I call off the show and I'm Cam, I'm probably pretty pissed that they under-edited me. Because I know I was doing shit. Next up we have Mackenzie. Kinsey. Robots. I guess because she's a cop piece.
You.
I don't really know. I don't know why. Because she's doing. I don't know why she's a robot.
I don't know why she's a robot either, but I also don't know why they basically called her. Why Zingbot basically called her Bigfoot.
They just got nothing on her.
Yeah, like she's just there.
They got nothing on her. Neither do we. Next up is Quinn. All right. Quinn The ultimate bad hair day. Definitely villain. Definitely
It's
villain.
funny. It's funny
Oh,
because
by the way,
watching it,
Cam hero, Mackenzie hero, probably.
yes.
No.
It's funny that Quinn is a villain, and Quinn thought he was the villain of the season because America's Veto, they put him up. But watching the season in general, I didn't think Quinn was the villain. I always took it that Tucker was.
Tucker is the villain.
Yeah, but they gave him the hero's edit.
Right, because this is what I like in it. The season when Tucker was in was like the movie The Joker. Not the new one that's bad, but the first one. Where you're seeing the psyche of the bad guy, but he's still the hero of the story.
So I haven't seen the second Joker, but from what I've read about it, it's a rejection of the first one. And
That's what
that,
I heard. The people hate it. It's bad.
yeah, and I've heard that people hate it because people like there was a large amount of worship for the Joker, who was supposed to be a villain.
Mhm.
So this one, they kind of, you know, we're gonna nip that in the bud. From what I've
Mhm,
heard, I
mhm.
haven't seen it. Me and my wife were gonna go see it, and then we saw the reviews. Also, apparently, people were ambushed that it was a musical because I didn't know it was a musical. Um, so we'll watch it when it hits Max.
They ambush a lot of people with musicals because people don't go see musicals if they know it's a musical.
I probably would have. We probably would have went and seen it opening night if we knew
But
it was a
you and your
musical.
wife are musical theater people,
Yes.
so you're different. But I remember when the Wonka movie came out with Timothy Chalamet,
Yeah.
nobody talked about the fact that it was a musical because they
But
didn't
I knew
want,
that was a musical.
but people didn't know, and so then people were like, "What? The
Yeah.
musical?" And then the Mean Girls. Remember the Mean Girl trailers for the Mean Girls musical movie?
Yeah, I was very confused why they remade it, and it took me a while to figure out that they were doing the Broadway show, but I had already seen the Broadway show and I didn't like the Broadway show, so I didn't go see the movie.
But
And
people,
Mean Girls is one of my favorite movies. I quote that shit daily.
but they didn't want people. But people did not know that that was going to be the musical. So that's when they like didn't tell nobody. They're like,
That's
people won't go see it if they find out this is a musical. And I said the same thing as you. I was like, why did they redo Mean Girls? It's only been like
yeah.
15 years.
Oh
It's been
no,
like 20 years.
it took me a minute and then I realized that's what they were doing. But like I said, I saw the Broadway show, I didn't like it, so I wasn't going to see the movie. Had I not seen the Broadway show, I probably would have went opening night. Had I known that Joker 2 was a jukebox musical, which it is, we would have went and seen it opening night before the reviews let us know that we are not going to go see it. Because realistically, my wife was like, I want to go see it, but I don't want to see it opening night. So like we'll go see it in a week or two. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Like we go to we try to go to the movies, but it's movies that we both pick out that we're gonna go see. So like Joker was a movie we're gonna go see. The next movie that we're gonna go see in theaters is Venom at the end of the month. And there was nothing else in between. Now we're just not going to see anything until Venom.
Joker, see, but and bringing it back to this, Joker was the bad guy, and it was a good guy. It was a bad guy that was portrayed as a good guy in the beginning of the movie, in the first movie, and that's what Tucker was. He's a bad guy that was portrayed as a good guy. Quinn, being the Batman, he has to be the bad guy, but he's a good
It
guy.
I think it's funny because I think any other season, Quinn probably gets a sympathetic edit, but it felt like Big Brother was so invested in seeing Tucker succeed that they had to make someone the scapegoat, and that someone just happened to be Quinn because
Mm-hmm,
that's where Tucker's
mm-hmm.
animosity was aimed at. Similar to I think Matt probably sucked. Like hanging out with Matt, he seemed to be kind of like toxic masculinity. But the
Mm-hmm.
fact that Angela went after him made him a sympathetic character in my eyes.
Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm.
So does Matt never got a hero edit? He got a villain edit because Angela went after him. And I think same here. Quinn got a villain edit because Tucker went after him. And then he started to get little bit redeeming edit, but maybe even not. Maybe he's just the creepy dude because he went from being, you know, Tucker's antagonist to Leah's creepy friend zone friend.
until not friend zoned.
Well, we don't know. You never know what happens in the jury house.
There's no cameras there. That's why you never know what happens in the jury house.
Like, I was shocked that we got Derek and Claire at the end of that. How did that happen?
We'll never know because it was in the
Still
jury
going
house.
strong. Still going strong.
The Quinn right here, villain, got the villain thing going on. The hair wrapping everybody up. Villain. I loved Quinn's game. I liked watching Quinn play. He was entertaining to me.
If Quinn could have kept the secret, he would have done so much better.
Correct. I don't like that he told everybody about the alliances he was in. He was trying to gain trust with that, but I just think didn't really work out for him.
Yeah, loose lips sink ships.
Mm-hmm. Next up is Matt. Crazy eyes. That's all we had. His retina is getting you.
Also did a great job on his abs.
Yep. Matt, man.
Villain?
He was there. He was a villain. No, I think he's a hero. Maybe I don't know. Angela
Look at
had
the chaos
grabbed him.
and destruction behind him. It's a villain.
So then that means Angela's a hero then.
Why can't they both be villains?
Maybe. Well, because she had him in her hands in the scene.
I mean, villains beef with each other.
Not often.
Could have been a turf war. Anyway.
Volcano! Matt, I mean, that was it for Matt. I don't really know what to say. Like,
he was there for a week. Like, we don't have a lot to talk about.
He's doing a lot of shit on the internet. I don't really know. Like, he's just out here.
Do you think that he has a chance with Mackenzie when he gets out? Or when she gets out?
At first, she ain't seen nobody in a little while. Then she's gonna check her DMs. Then the moment she checks her DMs, Matt's done.
That's fair.
I mean, that's like legitimately. Like, she's gonna her DMs are definitely flooded with dudes that are like trying to say what's up.
Yep.
And then she'd be like, Matt, who? She's gonna make out with them at the rap party, and that's gonna be about the end of that relationship.
That's fair.
Riley and Matt status.
Probably.
Next up is Vol Chemo. This is they just played on the fact that he was Hawaiian. All's fair in lava and war.
I feel like we didn't learn anything about Chemo all season. Like, he was just there for vibes.
You knew he was Hawaiian.
I know that he was Hawaiian. I know that he was fighting to be the first Pacific Islander winner or whatever his cause was.
Hawaiian win.
Hawaiian, sure, whatever. And I know he eats loud.
And he's great friends with T-Core.
Yeah, great friends with T-Core. And he was tired of being on the block every week. If somebody is willing to use you as a pawn every week, means that no one views you as a threat, but you're also expendable. Like, being a pawn, what was he, 8-9 weeks in a row? Something like that?
Yeah.
He's expendable.
On the block, I think almost more than anybody. I don't know the exact numbers, but it was. I've never seen someone on the block that often.
Not since season 1 with Curtis.
Exactly. I did not watch season 1.
Yeah.
It was a different game from what I understand.
Way different.
Next up, Chemo. Chemo's great. Chemo had a good season, man. I enjoyed him. He lasted longer than I thought he could. He definitely had a chance to win.
It's funny because I don't feel like Chemo necessarily did anything, but he had a great chance to win based on his social game. And I think social game is going to probably be the biggest indicator of success when we figure out who the last two people are sitting at the end.
Yeah. Next up, we have Aaliyah. This one's just a slam dunk. The chubby chaser.
Yeah, had to be.
Had easy chubby chaser. She only fights fat villains. If you're dealing with the skinny villain, she's back at HQ. She's not calling her in.
Not her problem.
Like the Blob is ravaging Manhattan. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. And then she goes out there, takes care of business. Leah's an interesting player.
It's funny because we all thought when we did our cast preview, she was definitely a recruit.
I
She was
still
just
think so.
there for the vibes.
Mhm.
But then she actually started playing at some point.
She like tried to play. She like was
Yeah.
vibing for sure, but then tried to play a little bit.
And I don't know where she thinks this takes her. Like, does she go to the challenge from here? Because I don't think so. I think maybe she tries to break into acting or something.
I mean, if she goes in the challenge, I don't think she's any different. Do you remember Siobhan?
Yes,
She gives me Siobhan vibes.
I could see that.
Um, I don't know if she'll be any good at the challenge. Siobhan wasn't, but
It's funny.
I can see
I don't
it.
have a whole lot to say about Leah because she didn't really do anything other than save Angela with the veto and then get burned by Angela.
That was most people's story. That was most people's story.
Also
Help
true.
Angela get burned by Angela.
Yeah, and then go home. And because like if she would have gotten rid of Angela when the house was ready to get rid of Angela on her, like not using the veto on her, just don't use the veto on her. I don't know if that leads to Mackenzie turning on her.
Well, McKinney never really turned on her.
But it was orchestrated by Chelsea, obviously.
Correct.
But like
Chelsea and Cam. And that's nothing. Cam had a lot to do with that too.
but what I'm saying is like I don't know if Chelsea has Mackenzie's ear the same way if Leah had never made that move. Then again, if Leah doesn't make that move, Quinn stays in the house.
Correct.
And if Quinn stays in the house, she has an ally who can help her.
I think Leah played as good of a game she could. She made a couple mistakes, but there were just people that knew the game better than her that the mistakes she wasn't going to be able to come back from.
It's funny because you say she made a couple mistakes. We can say that about just about
Everybody,
everyone.
every single person,
Every
including the
single
next person, the last person on the name right here.
But I'm gonna say
Chelsea.
Chelsea and Cam probably made the fewest mistakes.
Yeah, but everybody made mistakes. Everybody not everybody knew how to recover from them though, but Chelsea did, and Chelsea's been playing, in my opinion, the best game this season. I called it from the beginning. She's the microchip here. They didn't have once again had nothing really to go by, so they went from her costume. Didn't want to be mean to her, especially because she's about to win. They think like she's the odds on favorite to win, so you don't want to like make fun of her too much more about the Cam situation.
Nah. Chelsea, obviously a villain here. Look at that dog. It's terrified. Don't fuck with people's dogs. Like
The
they have a whole website,
microchip.
Did the Dog Die? Because people will not watch a movie if the dog died.
She's on
She's
the
obviously a villain.
ultimate power trip.
I
I don't
think
know.
that's actually a really good one. It kind of outs her that she's been in control of the game. She's on the ultimate power trip.
No one noticed it. You know,
No one
no one
noticed.
noticed. That's really good at it. I like Chelsea. We're gonna talk about Chelsea a little bit more here. I like this comic. I think I forgot about the rankings. We were ranking them all. I think the top three. I forgot we were ranking them, but I think the top three for me had to be Young Cedric at 1, T Core at 2, and probably Leah at 3 because she was very obviously going to be the champion chaser, and it makes sense.
Well, I think I would go with Cedric and Rubina, and I really like Chelsea's.
Okay. Those are our top threes. I forgot we were ranking them all. Whatever.
Yeah. And the bottom three is definitely Kenny.
Kenny, yeah. Bottom three is Kenny, Lisa, and Matt.
Yeah.
But for obvious reasons.
Yes.
Chemo's eviction, CJ. Let's get into it. I really want to talk Chemo. Okay, Chemo. It became Chemo or Rabina. There was a push hard by Cam to keep Chemo. Mackenzie's like, what are you talking about? We're keeping Rabina. Chelsea, in my opinion, made the right move, kept Rabina, which is better for her game because Chemo could have been more dangerous in these comps down the end.
It's funny that they were afraid of Chemo being more dangerous, but didn't Chemo only win that one AI arena?
Yeah. No,
and Rubina
won that veto. And he won that veto.
He won a veto. Rubina won a veto in AI arena, I think.
Just an AI arena.
Just in the AI arena. Like, if you're nervous because chemo keeps coming closer to winning, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or win by a mile. Winning's winning. Dude's always coming in second. So he's
But he was
first
coming in
loser.
second with the people that were there. Like, if I would be afraid that chemo could have a chance to win too. Admittedly.
And that's the hard part when you get this deep in the season. And going into last week, only 2 people had won HOH of the 5. You know what you're going to get when they have power. You don't know what you're going to get with the other 3 if they have power.
True.
So I think I have a read on what Rubina's going to do. I'm pretty sure I have a read on what Cam's going to do. Guess we got to get rid of chemo.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like that was the right move.
Yes.
Especially for Chelsea. Because, I've been walking, I like to look it through the lens of people I'm rooting for. And then I'm usually rooting for who I think is playing the best game. So, through the lens of the best player, it was made more sense to get rid of him. Because with Rubina not being as good as comps, but as well as she's much more moldable. Because chemo didn't talk to nobody outside of T-Core. So since she's much more moldable to what we're looking to have done for me, if I'm Chelsea, I want Rubina around. We can talk about this girls thing. We could push these other things to get rid of Cam. Maybe it'll work. It's worked on everybody else, i.e. McKenzie. Let's keep her around.
Yes.
So I thought it was a good move to get rid of chemo. Jury segment, though. I mean, it was all outside, but I thought it was a little interesting when Angela was like, Mackenzie told me that Leah might have a crush, and I was like, no way. And I was like, that's cold-blooded. And then Leah was like, I mean, I didn't think it was ridiculous to have a crush on Quinn. And then I saw him like a cartoon character. The heart's like beating out of his chest. And then he like went to the sky and then floated down.
So remember about 45 minutes ago when we were talking about they can make the episodes as long as they want or as short as they want? This was them extending the episode by leaning into the love triangle. If they were both still in the house, we would have gotten a full segment, maybe even 2 segments, because there's nothing going on right now.
Correct.
So they got to drag it out somehow. I just wish that they would have done the friend zone stamp that they've been doing earlier in the season and then added a question mark this time.
Friend zone. Bing. like the question. Bing. Question mark. Because now he's getting out of the friend zone and he's getting into the relationship zone.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe. They got a couple weeks to figure it out.
I wonder what's going to happen. They definitely make out, right?
I don't know. I feel like Quinn is the kind that wants to take it slow. He wants to go on a date.
Are you kidding?
Find a diner.
We're going to have a date in this jury house. T-Core's going to make dinner. It's going to be like a little nice little restaurant. And so we're going to make dinner. We're going to come sit down. I'm going to take her by the pool.
Leah doing all the cooking once Lisa went?
Angela could cook too, though. So Angela's going to make dinner. I'm going to take her to a nice romantic look out by the pool. T-Core will sing or something. Then we'll go inside. It's like we're going to I am Alexander Hamilton, and I am not going to miss my shot.
I think you do dinner in a movie because they give them stuff to watch.
Yeah, so then we do dinner. We do have a film. We have a little time outside by the pool so that we can watch the sunset. We're doing all that. That's what I mean. If I'm Quinn, I am not going to miss my shot. I can't wait for us to get out the house and then other dudes be out there.
Quinn's gonna start eating.
Carbo load every day.
Yep.
Never ending pasta right now.
Quinn, where are you going? Olive Garden?
I'm trying to be family, baby. I'm trying to be family.
It's like, I see you got 4 orders of breadsticks to go. Yeah. Trying to get with Leah. You understand.
Carbo loading time. It's Leah packing season. So I need to pack on these pounds.
Ridiculous.
That's kind of all that happened with the veto and the eviction jury segment. We're moving on. I mean, it was a quick subject there because I think these last couple things are more important. Jackie says in the chat, Angela is absolutely not encouraging that relationship. You're right. She's one of the biggest haters I've ever seen in my life, and Leah's not your actual daughter. So just like let her live. Let Quinn live. Quinn did nothing to you.
But her not approving is going to push Leah towards Quinn. She's actually
That's not her mom. That's not her mom.
It's her BB mom.
That is not her mom.
And let her sister Mackenzie get out, and then they'll really fan the flames.
Moving on. We're going to set up the final four. So now, CJ, here we are. We're in a situation where the only people that are left are Cam, Mackenzie, Rubina, and Chelsea. The season as a whole, as we talked about a minute ago, the comps have been equitable, which has made for a fantastic season of Big Brother. One of the best I've seen in a long time. The AI arena, in addition, needs to be a staple. It needs to be something that's added to the pre-jury stage because it gets us to this point right here where everyone has a story to tell. We have Mackenzie here, who has won the most competitions on the season. She's the comp piece of the season, partially because they got rid of Tucker early, which was smart. It allows someone else to be the comp piece of the season.
Well, not only that, she was also on the bottom for a while, like constantly on or near the block, and she was able to turn that around.
I don't think Mackenzie knows how often her win saved her life.
I don't think she does either. But I also think that Mackenzie was playing a week-to-week game versus Chelsea, Cam, even Rubina were playing a season-long game.
Right.
And I think Mackenzie right now is still playing a week-to-week game. Like, she's still looking at it as like, I don't know if I like until we figure out what goes on with this veto. I got to make sure I stay in good with Cam. I got to make sure I stay in good with Rubina. I got to make sure I keep all my options on the table. I don't think she's actually thinking about who she wants to sit next to.
I think she wants to sit next to Chelsea,
which is stupid.
It's the dumbest thing. I think Kevin Rubina had a conversation me and you talked about the other day where Cam can not win the season. Rubina can't win the season. And you have said they need to figure out they should just take each other. I think low-key they both did.
Yes.
Which is why being here at Final Four, because like one thing about Cam and Rubina is that Rubina's older, Cam's a little bit older. So they have concepts of like what they should do in their mind. Mackenzie's like 23, 22.
Yeah, Mackenzie's 22 or 23. She's like her and Cedric were the same age. Cam and Chelsea are both mid to late 20s, and then Rubina's mid 30s.
She's 36.
She's 30, yeah, mid 30s.
Yeah. So she like understood, Cam understood like what we need to do. So the way Cam got here was by working with Chelsea and never being that big of a threat. They're playing him out as if just because he's not good at comps, it's why he's like being dragged along. But in reality, they've made deft moves socially and strategically.
Yes.
Right. Starting with the Tucker eviction, getting rid of Tucker. Next, they get rid of Chelsea and them get rid of Quinn. No, Joseph, getting rid of Joseph next. Him not being an option to really go home that week was a fantastic move. Because what's his face? Quinn didn't want to put up anyone that helped him in those things. So him not really being an option to go home over Joseph, fantastic.
Yes.
Right? All of these things and all of these reasons helped him get to where he is in the game. And so I think he has been playing a good game. Cam has. Not a winning game. I want to make sure that's clear, but I think a good one.
But it's funny because as you go deeper into the game, if I'm, just in the house and I'm looking at interactions and everything, I can tell that Cam and Chelsea are a rock solid duo. And the deeper you get into a game with the duo, the bigger threat they pose. And if we get to this week and I'm Rubina, Mackenzie can't compete in HOH, I have to win.
Yeah.
And if I don't win, I have to win the veto because I have to take a shot at one of them because they're going to pick each other.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And if they're going to pick each other, that means I can't make final two unless I win.
Correct.
So I have to take one of them out now because then maybe the other one will take me.
Well, I mean, speaking of Rubina, let's talk about her game at this point. She's been in part of the trio. She's gotten this far being with the trio. She's the last of the trio left. She has 2 votes already on jury in T-Core and Chemo.
Yes.
Unless maybe she's sitting next to Chelsea, because then T-Core might vote for Chelsea. But outside of that, she hasn't really done much as seen by the people. She has some concepts of a game. She has threads of a game. When she goes last week and tells MJ that Chelsea was setting her up to take MJ out, fantastic move. Hard part, MJ didn't believe it. Because as BSB said in the chat, MJ is just too dumb to be a good winner. And so those are just dumb moves.
But also, Chelsea, MJ said it best. Chelsea hasn't done anything to betray my trust. So why am I going to believe something that someone else is telling me when Chelsea hasn't crossed me? The problem is when she crosses you, you're not going to see it coming.
Right. When I slit your throat, it'll be because you're dead.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. And it's interesting in the fact that by Rubina trying to open MJ's eyes because she's a 36-year-old woman, it's just keeping her eyes closed more and more, if you will.
Yeah, like
because she's like, I don't believe you, I don't trust you.
Well, you're alienating it, and it's tough because Rubina has been the one preaching female strong, female final 3, blah 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 blah. So why are you going to believe her now when that's been her talking point?
Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. And with that being the case, Rubina's game just like it kind of started too late.
I think she started playing a game because she stopped having people to hang out with. Because losing T-Core, losing Chemo, I guess I got to go talk to these people now.
Yeah. And even then, she's not talking to them a whole lot.
Nah.
And then finally, we'll talk about Chelsea's game. Chelsea's controlled the vote since the Tucker blindside.
Yes.
She gets out Tucker, unbeknownst to them. They don't see it coming. She quietly, like, you know how much I gushed about her getting out Tucker. Because it was we're keeping Tucker, everyone. Everyone, we're keeping Tucker. We're keeping Tucker, hand behind the back, fingers crossed. We're keeping Tucker. We're keeping Tucker. Tucker lost the AI arena. Now, go now. We're doing the move now.
It is funny how many times this season that there were contingencies because of the AI arena, and I did love that. I do hope they bring that back. And I hope like
chat too.
Yeah. You can't call it the AI arena next season because you're probably not doing the AI theme.
Just call it the arena.
Yeah, just call it the BB arena. Yeah. I think it's a twist that needs to stay. I think that because the house guests were thrown off by it this season, next season, people will go in knowing that they need to have a contingency in place. All you need is ranked choice voting, baby. 3 people go in. This person is not going home no matter what. This person goes home if this person wins. This person goes home no matter what.
But this is the problem with ranked choice voting, and this is the only issue. Me, you, Sheldon, Kylie, Jackie, BSB.
Yeah.
Okay? 6 of us. Jackie, BSB. No, we'll go Sheldon, Kylie, and let's throw in for good measure Robbie for this example. Robbie, who covers Survivor with us.
Yes.
Robbie, Kylie, Sheldon on the block. Me, you, BSB, and Jackie all agree that we're voting out Robbie first.
Yes.
Okay. But the problem with the ranked choice voting, me and you like Sheldon more than Jackie and BSB, and they like Kylie.
Yeah, but at that point, it's Robbie's choice.
And that's what's so funny about ranked choice voting is that we're locked in on BS on we're locked in on Robbie. Robbie's going home. We're done. Robbie's the four of us, we can all listen, we may not all get along, but we all agree that Robbie should go. Oh no. Robbie won the arena. Well, we have 3 minutes and BSB and Jackie are like, Cassiege, we have to vote out Sheldon. And we're like, absolutely not. We are voting out Kylie.
And this is where I like, if it's a stalemate, unfortunately, you need to be working on all three people who are sitting on the bot.
That's another thing that's great is that me and you have been talking to Robbie the whole time, telling him we're voting out Kylie.
Yeah.
We're voting out Kylie. Robbie, don't even worry about it. We're voting out Kylie. It's going to be Kylie the whole time. We're telling Kylie it's for sure going to be Robbie.
100%.
If Robbie were in the arena, obviously we're voting out Sheldon. We're not voting you out. But we're telling Robbie it was Kylie the whole way. And then the contingency comes through because obviously BSB and Jackie, they're doing the same thing, saying we're voting out Sheldon. And then now it's up to Robbie. And that's how come we don't have these unanimous votes, because ranked choice voting, this whole AI arena, the arena makes it sloppier because it's a unanimous vote if Robbie loses.
You talk about it being sloppier. I loved Brooklyn going up to Rubina and telling her she's going home.
Oh,
and then Rubina stayed.
Yeah. She's like, oh, this is awkward. So from what I wanted you to stay. Right.
Yeah.
But they told me in the ranked choice voting that you were next. And I said, no.
Just double down. Just double down at that point. You already got caught. Your hand was in the cookie jar. Just shove all the cookies in your mouth.
You gotta try. But I love the arena for that reason. Even with your ranked choice voting, that leaves some more chaos. MJ's only here because she won twice.
Yeah. She would have been gone before jury.
Correct. Cedric's still in the house. Tucker would still be in the house. Those are both comps. They were supposed to win that MJ won.
Yeah.
And saved her own life.
Yep.
And because we all agreed, everyone in the house agreed MJ's going.
Until she
But if
wasn't.
MJ wins, some say Rubina, some say Cedric. In the Tucker situation, we all agreed that MJ's going. But heaven forbid, then we're voting out Angela.
Yeah.
Right, everyone? Yes. Oh, MJ won? Ghost Protocol. We are going with the Ghost Protocol. Is that Tucker? It is time. We're going to enact it. We have 2 minutes. We have to just pull the trigger. Pull the trigger.
It's funny because the first couple of weeks when nobody did anything because they didn't know what to do with the time, I was like, well, this kind of sucks. And then they finally figured it out when they were ready to pull the trigger. And I was like, oh, this is like one of those Survivor Whisper campaigns where everybody's just breaking off in this little conversations in the final 2 minutes before you vote. It was actually kind of cool to see.
It was so great. And then they were like, yes, content for the Sunday episode. Fantastic. We'll show you what happened in the rooms. It's fantastic. And
to your point about, before you go on, to your point about like, it's context that we can provide on Sunday, it kind of took away some of the luster of the double because we had been getting it all season. And the double is usually the only time you get that.
But that's why they're like set it up that you're going to be able to get that every week, which makes it even better. Thursday made it a can't miss episode. You want to see what's going on, what's going to happen here. So I think they're going to definitely bring the AI arena, make it just the arena. You go into the 3, you put 3 people up. That makes it messier to begin with. I need 2 pawns, which is crazy. One person's going to come down with a veto. We're going to put somebody else up, even messier. We're going into the arena. You go in your way to save yourself. There's no early back doors. The only back doors is like you just give them not a chance to play in veto, but then you got to hope they don't survive the arena because then they're coming back for you.
Yeah. It's similar to a double. Like, it makes things messy because people got to figure it out on the fly, which is why my favorite, one of my favorite episodes of all time, just for chaos, was the one time they did a triple
Yeah,
because they didn't know what to do.
correct. And it just makes it that much better. And so, like, I loved it. And even for Chelsea, this helped work out in her favor because now it comes down to the final four, where definitely, in my opinion, Mackenzie and Cam are taking her. Rabina's her biggest problem, which
Yes.
leads to the HOH we saw last night. And our girl, my girl, Chelsea won the HOH.
Yeah, so it was a spinoff of a, which like what panel is the house guest, whatever. Like it was the Where's Waldo thing. It was just a word search this time, which still comp equity, still good.
I loved Cam's concept of I've taken enough multiple choice in my life that if the answer was B this time, it's probably not going to be B the next time. And I was like, he right. Now,
Yeah.
I'm looking at A and C. If it was C, I'm looking at A and B. Like
Yeah.
I'm switching. Like I'm gonna just eliminate one to make it faster.
Yeah, I'm
And
not going to start on that one. It's going to be the last one I check.
correct. And poor Cam, he had a real good chance to win this comp. Rabina got 2.
Yeah, Cam got 2. Cam should have had 3, but he had the wrong button.
He should have had 3. He should have had 3.
We should have gone to a tie. Like he would have had 3, and the one he missed is the one Chelsea won on.
Correct.
Like your boy.
Your boy was right there. He was right there. The ball, sometimes when the ball bounces around the rim, it bounces, and then it falls out. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what happened. And he was real upset about it. He was beating himself up about it. But wow.
So close.
What a close competition. But Chelsea wins the HOH, secures herself going to the final 3. I loved it. I was like, cool. So she's safe here. I don't know what she wants to do in terms of who wants to go home. I know she wants Mackenzie and Cam there. I don't know how she's going to set that up. I loved how she asked Rabina. Rabina said she doesn't want to go up. And she's like, cool, I'll just put up Cam and Mackenzie. This part doesn't matter. It also helped her throw a little like sus on Rubina for Mackenzie. Because last thing I need is Mackenzie to take her to the final 3. Cam's already told me he's going to put up Mackenzie, and I don't like that, but whatever.
Yeah. It's funny because, and I think Cam is right. You need to vote out Mackenzie because Mackenzie's going to take Chelsea. You know she's not taking you, so you got to get rid of her. Rubina might take you. Chelsea is definitely going to take you.
Yeah, much better chance of Chelsea to take me. Correct.
Yeah, and like I understand why Chelsea's not happy with it, but at 4, if you're not thinking about who you want to sit next to right now, when are you going to do it?
Well,
I guess
depending
you
on the
figure it out
position
next
you're in.
week.
But based on the position you're in, Chelsea can sit next to everybody and probably win. But
yeah,
Mackenzie needs to sit next to the other 2. Like we're not even going to do our rankings like normal because it really goes. Chelsea sit next to Mackenzie, Chelsea probably wins. Mackenzie sitting next to Cam and Rabina, Mackenzie wins. If Cam's sitting next to Rabina, he might win. Rabina probably wins.
Yes.
And then Rabina beats Cam is the only likelihood, so she needs to get rid of Mackenzie and Chelsea. That's the rankings.
Yes.
That's the rankings. That's it. Especially with now with Chemo and T-Core, that's 2 votes. Chelsea probably votes for Cam. But if Cam were to take, let's say Mackenzie goes here, and Cam wins the veto and takes out Mackenzie right here, then he's gonna have to cut Chelsea.
I think that Quinn votes for Rubina before Cam.
That's what that's 3, and then find one more. Angela,
find one more, and like
Mackenzie.
And I talked about earlier this episode that I think that this season the winner is going to be decided by social a lot more than other seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rubina is in good with a lot of people in jury that they just like her.
Correct.
And I don't think it's going to be like for some of the people in jury, I don't think it's going to be who played the better game. It's just who would I rather give the money to?
Correct. And that's what's going to come down to. So we get the veto competition. Once again, another equitable comp, CJ. Normally they have them running around. Instead, they have 4 corners. That's it. You start in the back corner. You push the numbers on the left. You push the number on the right. You push the button in the middle.
You say it's equitable, but Rubina's 4'9". That wasn't fair to her.
I mean, like that. It is equitable because yes, it's not going to be the perfect for every person. Matt said early in the season that the elimination comp that he lost in the AI arena wasn't equitable because Chemo won because he wanted something physical. That's
Yeah.
stupid. No, but we're trying to be as equal to everyone that we can be, and this competition right here is just the days. By the way, Rabina did much better than I thought she would.
It's funny because we talked about on our episode last week that Chelsea and Cam were studying together. We didn't know what MJ and Rubina were doing. And this one went down to the wire. Like everybody, we got left with everybody with Rubina out, Chelsea out, and Cam and Mackenzie with 2 strikes, which means they went to the very last question.
Do you think Chelsea was throwing?
No, because if you were really throwing, like, me and my wife talked about this last night. If I'm Chelsea and I'm throwing, I just sit down.
Okay, so I thought the same thing, right? But then when she says, "Okay, Rabina's out," I'm gonna let Mackenzie and Cam figure it out.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, do you throw? So I'll never forget in BB 617 when Steve Moses wins. Johnny Mac at the final, I think 5 or 4. You got to finish the puzzle.
yeah.
And that person won the veto or whatever. Johnny Mac can't find his last piece, allegedly.
Yes.
When they did the outshot when he lost, the piece was sitting on the table the whole time.
Yep.
And he was like looking around for this last piece. But I know he knew the piece was on the puzzle the entire time because it wasn't like under anything. It wasn't hidden. It was just sitting there. And he didn't want to win the veto because he didn't want to have to make the decision. But he
the thing is,
he was acting though.
But like, why act? Because like when Dan didn't want to win comps, he literally laid down.
Why act is because people are going to see it.
But the people who make the decision aren't. Not until after.
I think you just don't want to be so blatant because you don't know what's going to be shown.
So here's the thing. If I'm throwing it, like if I'm at that point, if I'm Chelsea and I'm at 4 and I want either Cam to take out Mackenzie or vice versa, I am sitting down. I am showing that I'm a real G and I don't care. They can figure it out.
I don't know how the jury takes that.
But the jury doesn't see it till they go home.
Don't they see the comp?
I'm betting they don't show them that.
I don't know that though, right? If I'm playing, I'm telling you right now, like we're talking about it right now. I don't know that. So I think I'm gonna sit there, I'm gonna push that number button. I'm gonna go up and down with that number button. I'm gonna go slow. So push the number. I'm gonna guess wrong numbers all the time.
You do bring up a great point. We don't know how much of the video they actually see.
Right. So I want to play it like I'm doing it because I don't want to come off as cocky.
I don't think it comes off as cocky. It's I'm deliberately showing you I don't want the blood on my hands.
Well, let's see. Okay, BSB and Jackie. If she sits down, does she come off as cocky? Because I think that it comes off as cocky. You don't think it comes off as cocky. I can definitely get behind it not coming off as cocky, but I wouldn't even want the possible perception. So let's ask them in the chat because if I want to see what their opinion is too. You know what I'm saying? As we're just trying to figure out. Anyone else in the chat, if you think sitting down in the comp comes off as cocky, let us know. Or
I agree with you, but I think it's game recognized game. But then it makes me rewind on what I was saying earlier, where I think it's just how likable were you this season might determine who wins versus better gameplay. I'm banking on the jury respecting gameplay, and this is a gameplay move. But I don't know, like, the reason why I think it's going to come across as how likable someone is for the winning is because I've watched the whole season from the outside. When I'm in the house, I don't know that. When I'm in the house, I'm like, they're going to respect what I did as a competitor, so I'm going to make this move.
Right. It's hard to know what the people are going to like. The jury is going to say if you're in it,
Yes.
and that's the hard part. Is that like I want them to respect what I've done, but I would hate to lose it because they think I'm arrogant.
Yeah.
Jackie says that she thinks it looks more strategic, but these players have not proven that they're very smart. They're very game smart, and and obviously, and there's another thing. I just thought about this. Obviously, Chelsea's not privy to the T-Core conversation, but T-Core and Rabina talked about wanting a good person to win.
Yeah.
And so, does this lose the good person argument? If you're mad because I'm styling on you.
Here's the thing: is like whether she threw it or not, there's no guarantee she would have won.
True.
And it's the one week I don't want all the power. And if the jury sees it and they do have issues with it, why not ask me when you get to ask your one question during finale night?
The finale night question is like, I think they have the crowdsource it. I don't really know how. Like you're not gonna get like the best question. Like it's not really my question that I'm asking.
So you don't think this is like the Survivor where they come up with their own?
Right. This is a crowdsourced situation. You ever been at a working thing and like you get to have like a town hall, but like all the questions got to be vetted and like approved?
Yes.
This is that. I wanted to ask, but they told me I could not ask that question.
It's the quarterly town hall. The CEO will be taking questions straight from the employees, but only softballs.
Here's the approved questions you can ask
Yes.
from the employee.
Yes.
These are not the questions though I have for the CEO. Right. But these are the questions you're allowed to ask. We wrote them up for you.
Yeah, you start going off script. They're like, cut the mic.
Yeah, cut his fucking mic off. Side note, you know that battle? You mad because I'm styling on you for the next bar?
Yeah.
From Nick's and E&J when they're in like that barbershop or whatever in Staten Island.
Yes.
Did you know that was 17 years ago? I just pulled it up. I said the line and I was like, oh yeah, let me pull up that video. And it's the oldest video on YouTube, 17 years ago.
Anyway, so we end the episode with Rubina out, Chelsea out, and we got Cam and Mackenzie racing for the last one.
They both got two. Both got two strikes against them. It's coming down to this. We get a cliffhanger. We don't know who's gonna win. It's gonna be a wild finish. If you're leaving now, thanks for joining us. We'll be back on Monday to wrap the season because the season ends on Sunday. This coming Sunday. And so we will be back on Monday to wrap up the whole season, me and CJ. We're going to talk about everything that happened this season. We're going to just give it a whole nostalgic look back. I think there's a good chance Chelsea wins. But you never know. If you're sticking around.
All we know right now is that Chelsea will be in the house come finale night.
Correct. And who knows who joins her for that evening. If you're leaving now, thanks for joining us.
Stay in the next 20 seconds.
Yeah, sure. we get to the spoilers in the next seconds. We'll tell you exactly how it finishes. But if you want to leave now because you want to not be spoiled, thank you for joining us. We'll see you back on Monday at 5 p.m. ish Eastern, or Pacific. 5 p.m. ish Pacific, 8 p.m. ish Eastern. You got about 15 seconds to get up out of here. And otherwise, we're going to tell you what happens. Good night to those that are leaving. I think, CJ, it's time for you to hit it.
Man, I thought they'd never leave. Which is funny because I don't think anybody ever leaves.
Very rarely. I think a few leave sometimes. Most of the time, people stick around. It is spoiler time. CJ, as we know, Chelsea is the HOH. We have a final. We're at the final four. Mackenzie and Cam are technically up for eviction, but as we know, final four doesn't really matter. It all comes down to the veto. Rabina loses first. Therefore, there will be a veto used on someone that's on the block. Chelsea comes out second. So then there you go. Now you know the veto will be used by somebody on the block.
Yeah.
Down to two people.
Before we spoil this, one thing I forgot to talk about before people left. I found it hilarious that Chelsea was going around asking if people were okay with being pawns to sit on the block, because at 4, it doesn't matter. The veto is the only thing that matters.
But I think it was even better because she asked, and Rabina's like, I don't want to be a pawn. She's like, bet. My two friends are sitting on the block because it doesn't matter, and I'm going to get Rabina's trust by not putting her up.
Hilarious.
So, sorry to you two. Go sit on the block. It is what it is. Doesn't matter. It's going to come down to the veto. And CJ, for an unprecedented X amount of times, I don't remember the number, Mackenzie has won another competition.
Is Mackenzie the most dominant female in the game since Rachel Riley?
Since Rachel Riley, maybe. Ever, no. I think Janelle still has the higher winning percentage.
Yes.
And she also didn't have these Fugazi other comps to deal with.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is Janelle, but I think since Rachel Riley, yes. And we have two women going to the final 3 for sure. Can we have an unprecedented, never before done, except twice before done, final 3 of all women?
The most unprecedented time since the last time it happened.
Correct. Never before happened except for the last time that it happened. Because everyone in the house seems to think it never happened, but it did.
Because they didn't actually watch the show.
You know, I don't know. Not because they don't actually watch show. A lot of them don't. That's true. But like, I don't know that Chelsea isn't just playing it up that it's never happened, because it's better for her game if she does. You know?
Does it make a difference if it either A, never happened, or B, hasn't happened in 10 years? I don't think it makes a difference, at least in my opinion. Like, if the mission is still the mission, who cares what the last time the mission happened?
Well, if you're doing the mission because you're saying that it's never happened and you're trying to make history, then it does matter. But
we've been doing this since the cookout at this point.
Right. We've been making history ever since then. The last time two women sat on the block next to each other for the final was Big Brother 13, when Rachel Riley sat next to Portia. The Adam Pock was the third place person there in that season. The last time 3 women sat on the block or sat in the final, but before that was Big Brother 11 when Jordan sat next to Natalie, and that season Kevin Campbell was the third place finisher. So I think the last time 3 women were in the final 3 was when Maggie sat next to Yvette in Big Brother 6, and the final 3 women were Maggie, Yvette, and Janelle. Janelle got taken out at the final HOH. That's the season Janelle would have probably won.
100%.
And that was the only season where 3 women were at the end. June, in season 4, June was with Allison in the final 2, and Robert was in third. And then when I believe Lisa sat next to Danielle, I think Jason was in the final 3. That was Big Brother 3. That one's kind of off the top of the head, so I'll double check. Yeah, Jason Guy was in third. So only one time 3 women have sat next to each other in the final 3. They think it's never happened before. It has happened before, but that's semantics. For Chelsea's game, she needs Cam in the final 3 because we don't need a chance. We don't need a possibility for being able to take her out.
No.
And you know what's crazy about these spoilers, CJ? That's what's going to happen because MJ has the sole power to evict. It is better for Mackenzie's game if Rabina's in the final three with her and Chelsea.
It's just, is this going to be the first time that Chelsea doesn't have her ear? Is the only question. It sounds like it's going to be, but we don't know until the words are said Thursday.
That is incorrect, actually. It sounds like that Chelsea is going to get her way once again. Yesterday, Mackenzie's Saturday, all day Saturday, because the video was played on Friday. So all day Saturday, Chelsea was like, it doesn't matter who's in the final two because me and you are going to be in the final two. Doesn't matter who's in the final three because me and you're going to be in the final two. We're the only ones that deserve to win. But have you noticed how comfortable Rabina is? Have you noticed how comfortable Rabina is?
Yeah.
Mackenzie didn't say that. She said, I hate how comfortable she is. I've never been comfortable in this house. And Chelsea said, yeah, man, she's already acting like she's in the final three. And Mackenzie said, I hate that. That's not good. And she said, exactly. And I don't know if you thought about this, Mac, but she has 2 automatic votes on the jury.
Yeah.
Cam can't beat us. But Rabina might.
Yeah.
She said, that's true, but I know that for a fact that Cam's going to take you. Chelsea said, no, he might take you. I mean, he might think he can't beat me. And because I've kind of like dragged him. I've dragged him this far. And he knows that. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So he might take me, but I could beat him. You could beat him. You would have my vote. Okay. But we're going to sit in the final two, Mackenzie says. Yes, we are. Of course. I'm picking you. You're picking me. It doesn't even matter. Cam can't win anything anyway. But Rabina, she might get there. And if she gets there. Because remember, Cam has to win 2 comps. Remember, he can't even win. He barely won 1 this season. He can't win 2 comps. And she's like, you're right. You're right. So then yesterday, CJ, Mackenzie talked to Cam. And when she talked to Cam, Cam's like, look, Rabina has 2 votes.
Yep.
I can't win any comps. And I would be a fool to take Chelsea. Mackenzie says, Chelsea didn't put Rabina on the block. And he's like, right. Rabina's definitely taking Chelsea. And Cam says, I think so.
Which is funny. But Cam's going to say anything against Rabina so that he doesn't go home.
In between the 2 of us.
Yeah.
In between the 2 of us.
So, Mackenzie, what do you need to hear from me to make you vote out Rabina?
Yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, did you know that she eats babies? She's a terrible person.
She eats babies. Yup.
And kicks puppies.
And then Mackenzie's gonna say, I heard she kicks puppies. I heard that too. I heard that too. And that's what's going on there. So she talks to Cam. Cam's like, she's like, well, I know that Rabina's definitely gonna take Chelsea, and like you two are so close, you're probably gonna take Chelsea too. Not necessarily. Oh, I'm intrigued. Yeah,
Tell me
she's
more.
probably gonna say that she dragged me here. That's exactly what she said she was gonna say. And like, I need to do like a shock and awe move myself in order to like look good in front of the jury. They have a shot.
Yeah.
So like you winning the veto. So like you winning the veto and taking me out, that would have been a shock and awe move. No, actually, I only thought of that now because I lost the veto. It's legitimately what Cam says. I only thought about the shock move now because I lost the veto. So now I need a move to make it look good.
It's funny because if he would have said it would not have counted as a shock and awe move because I think we all lose to Chelsea anyway, it probably gives him more cred and puts that idea in Mackenzie's head that she should be thinking about taking him.
Maybe, but right now I'm more focused on not going home.
Yeah.
So, she's like, huh, okay.
I just, if I'm Cam, the way that I spin it is you're not the shock and awe move Chelsea is. And I would have gotten rid of Rabina because I think she has the votes to beat any of us because she already has 2 there.
He said
And
she already has 2 votes.
also, you give me a better shot of beating Chelsea. Because just one of us has to beat Chelsea, and we can take each other.
So the hard part of we've already seen what happens when people go against Chelsea.
Yes.
Like for Mackenzie, right?
Yes.
So I think he plays this correctly by just saying that I need a shock move and like leaving that up to you what the shock move is.
Yeah.
Because I only thought of this after I lost the veto. Because if I using the veto in that way, that would have been a shock move. I would have taken out Rubina. I would never take you out. Of course not. But I need a shock move. Okay, cool. Then Mackenzie goes, plus, Rubina's been real comfortable around here. And then he said, she's been real comfortable. Like, real comfortable. The pillow blanket comfortable. Like she been like nice down pillow. You know what I'm saying? Like a Tempur-Pedic bed comfortable. You know what I'm saying? That's what she's been doing around here. Rubina just living her life. She ain't doing shit. But that's what they're saying, right? So then MJ goes talk to Chelsea. Chelsea's like, so like, where you at? You get the chance to talk to Rubina? No. Can you believe Rubina hasn't talked to me? But I talked to Cam. I'm leaning towards keeping Cam. Chelsea's like, oh, okay. Why? Well, you know how comfortable Rubina's been. Yeah. She's been super comfortable. Yeah. She's been super comfortable. She has 2 votes. Chelsea says, exactly. She has 2 votes already. The thing that I told you, you're telling me, I love it. Yes, she has 2 votes. And I talked to Cam. And you know what people respect? Because you mentioned this earlier, but I thought about it right now. Loyalty. So why mix up? I know I said the girls thing, but why be disloyal to what's gotten me here?
That's fair.
And then she said, I mean, you're right. Why be disloyal to what's gotten you here? So I'm like leaning towards keeping Cam. But I still can't believe she hasn't come to talk to me. She might. It might be too late because I'm just going to evict her. She doesn't want to talk to me. She can talk to me when she's out of here.
There's 5 days. I'll talk to you when I talk to you. There's 5 days.
No. It's even better. She's like, I mean, she hasn't talked to me, and I make the decision in the morning. Oh, Chelsea says, no, you're going to do it live on Thursday. Wait, I'm going to do it live on Thursday, then I have to evict like right then? Yeah.
Like,
Oh
you
my
don't even
God.
go in you don't even go into the GR. You tell them to their face.
So I have to just tell her to her face? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't do that to either one of them. This is such a tough choice. I'm so sad. I'm so mad that I'm in this situation. Yeah. But like loyalty is what matters. And I gotta tell him to his face. Like I don't have to tell him to his face that I'm like betraying him. I don't like that. No, you're right. Well, you gotta probably stick to it because like I know Rubino's saying the girl thing. McKinney's like, yeah, and I'm all about girl power, but like I'm also here to try to win $750,000, and I didn't come in here with that girl power thing. Correct. You came in here trying to win the game. Plus, then McKinney says, plus it's only the 2 of us that deserve to be in the end anyway, and Cam can't win any comps, so it just makes more sense. Yeah. Exactly, Mackenzie. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Me and you, same page. We're thinking the same thing. So as of this morning, I haven't looked too much today. Mackenzie is voting out Rubina.
Ridiculous.
And once again, Chelsea, and that's why I feel bad for Cam because they're pretending like Cam ain't doing shit, but Cam's conversations resonate. Chelsea pushes on a move. Like you're a big football fan. It's like when someone's the running back's pushing and then he gets stuck, and then the offensive lineman runs behind him and pushes him forward.
Yep.
Chelsea is the running back who made the cut and made the move and got jammed up. And then Cam comes as a big O lineman and just pushes her in the back to get the thing across the line for Mackenzie's brain.
It's ridiculous how well they work in sync without talking.
Correct. Because they talk about knowing what the goal is. The goal is for you to stay.
The goal is for Cam to hand Chelsea the check.
Right.
And I think even Cam is aware of that at this point.
So Cam was very upset when he loses the veto. Very upset.
Yes.
Taryn Armstrong from Rob at the Podcast has a theory that he thinks that Cam would have evicted Mackenzie and probably taking Rabina to the end.
He still would have lost, but yes.
Maybe, but he would have gotten out Mackenzie and Chelsea to do it. So maybe he wins.
Maybe at that point, but the only reason I think he might still lose is the likability factor that I've been talking about today.
But that's his best chance to win. And and Taryn Armstrong thinks that one of the reasons he was so upset is because by him and Rabina being the options, it's a lose-lose.
Yeah, he can't make that move.
Yeah. It's Jefferson or Burr. It's a lose-lose.
Yeah.
And like Hamilton, which side do you choose? And I think just like Alexander Hamilton, he'll vote with Chelsea because she stands for something. She has some values. Mackenzie has none. And I think if that's what would happen.
The one argument that I will make for Cam beating Mackenzie is that if Cam is the one that takes out Chelsea, you eliminate the narrative of they played the same game. Now you can say, Chelsea and I worked together to do this. Chelsea and I worked together to do this. Chelsea and I worked together to do this. We brought Mackenzie in to be our third because we needed the number. And then I took Chelsea out because we shared the same story.
So here's the hard part, right? Is that if I'm in the end between you and Kylie, and I can lose the both of you, me and you have been friends for much longer. I'm not going to cut you. If I think I lose to both of you, I'm not going to cut you just because it gives me, if I have a 5% chance of beating, if I have a 10% chance of beating Kylie, but a 3% chance of beating you, I'm still losing. So the 10% is 10% is not enough to cut someone that I have had such a strong relationship with.
What I will say is, if Cam were to cut Chelsea, Zingbot was right that she has no chance.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of other things that are there's a whole lot of other things that get messed up if I do that.
Yeah.
Just to lose, mind you. Just to lose. Yeah. If it's between Chelsea and Rabina, my chances go from 3% to 46%.
You think you can argue your point
to get those last 5 points?
Yeah,
five position points. So if we're talking though 5% or 10%, it doesn't make sense for me to go with 10%. That's still a loss.
That's fair.
So, as of this moment, as of I last checked, Mackenzie is more than likely going to evict Rabina.
Well, she can go hang out with T-Core and Chemo in the jury house.
And I think that just about gives the win to Chelsea.
Yep. If Chelsea is in the final two, Chelsea wins. I don't to your point, I don't think Cam takes Chelsea out. I think Mackenzie has to do it, and she won't.
Right.
So
that's a wrap. And that's it for the 2024 season. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Last season, I didn't think Jag would win. I thought that we would have, I don't know, for lack of a better term, a bitter jury. I don't think Jag played a great social game, but they just respected all the comp wins. Because at a point, that's what it became about.
Yeah.
I don't think Mackenzie gets that narrative this time.
I don't think so either.
And that's the only narrative she has to win against Chelsea.
Yeah. It's going to come down to it. I'm excited to see how this finishes out. If I win this, I win the draft too. I think I won the draft. Also, I took Chelsea first overall.
It's funny because if Mackenzie wins, I won the draft.
So it comes down to me versus you.
Yep.
It's been a fun season. I've enjoyed the season immensely. I can't wait to wrap it up with you on Monday, CJ, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern.
We'll be here.
Oh, last thing I wanted to mention, I loved the family segments, but I love the fact that Cam's dad said, "I'm not one of the little dogs at the crib." I thought that was the funniest thing. I had to rewind it, and I was like, "This is hilarious," because he says, "I know I'm not one of your dogs at the crib, but I'm rooting for you, son." Yada yada yada, and he's like, "That's my dog." And then I was like, "No." He said he's not one of your dogs. He's your second biggest fan. And she's like, and Julie's like, "Who's your biggest fan?"
I don't know. My mom?
Maybe my stepmom? I don't know. I don't know. And then also, I love that they had that song for Julie. It brought Julie to, she did not expect it. And whenever you get surprised, Julie, that's good. Julie then also tells them that they're her favorite house guests. I think that's ever. I mean, there's no problems.
I feel like they've had more fun interactions with Julie this season than they've had in a long time.
Correct. Auntie Julie. Joseph's interactions the whole time are hilarious. What it do? Like
what it do, Jules?
Yeah. Shouts to all my dogs at the crib. Man, Chelsea's gonna be on God 101 like every other week. I don't know. She's gonna be preaching. Julie loves her. Julie's probably, I've never seen Julie root for a person, but I think she's rooting for Chelsea.
Does Julie get Chelsea on the Today Show? Because what's her name? Hoda's leaving. Is that Chelsea's spot?
Nah, man, that's Taylor's spot. We all know. Listen,
we all know that's Taylor's spot.
Taylor Hale is the best chance to get there.
But Julie's gonna try.
She's gonna try. No, she's gonna let them know that she wants Chelsea to take over for her if she retires. They're like, we have Taylor tabbed for that. She's like, listen, I need Chelsea because she's gonna let everybody know to love one another.
Yep.
And that's for you guys too. Love one another. It's been a great season. Having a good time. First and foremost, as always, CJ, shout out to all the dogs at the crib. We got to shout out to all Cam's dogs at the crib and coming to you from outside of the Big Brother house. See y'all on Monday. Good night.